So as we've talked about the church and also about the Holy Roman Empire, one of the things to realize is there was a power struggle going on. You can see the scales in the background of the slide, and there's really this weight that each would put on each other. The church on these kingdoms, and particularly the Holy Roman Empire, trying to get them to do what they wanted, and in return, kings and emperors trying to influence the church to do what they wanted. And this happened in a number of different ways. In the Holy Roman Empire, after Otto the Great died, you constantly saw this struggle back and forth. And you can see a king on one scale and a church official on the other. And these German kings and emperors would try to expand into Italy, and that would really never work. And like I mentioned before, it'd be kind of a waste of time because popes would be very resistant to that, and so they would encourage resistance either in northern provinces, or if these kings ever got near the papal states themselves, they'd push them away and try to find ways to keep them from exerting their influence. Well, also one of the issues came with the idea of lay investiture. And we said lay investiture was when a non-religious person would appoint a religious position, like a noble or a king would appoint a new bishop or a new cardinal to a vacant church position. And the church thought this was wrong. And so this kind of came to a head in the time of Henry and Gregory. Gregory was the pope, and Henry was the ruler of the Holy Roman Empire. And so Henry started doing this lay investiture, and Gregory said no. And Pope Gregory actually said this is banned, and said this, you're not allowed to do this anywhere in the Holy Roman Empire. Well, Henry actually responded by saying, you're no longer the Pope, and kind of said, you can't tell me no, and it kind of got almost to this childish back and forth. And so Henry tells Gregory he's forced to resign. Gregory excommunicates Henry, which, if you already saw, that was a very powerful thing, and threatens an interdiction on, his lands. And so kind of eventually Henry's nobles convince him, you're going to have to give in. We can't possibly survive, the ramifications of all these bad things happening. And so Henry actually has to go to the winter home of Gregory in the Alps, and he actually stands outside in the snow, according to some biographers, for over a day, waiting to be let into this kind of castle where Gregory stayed in the wintertime. And it was just kind of almost this ridiculous scene of these two proud men refusing to deal with the other, and each trying to say, no, I'm going to be the one in power, no, I'm going to be the one in power. And it just kind of came over and over again that you have these people just competing, and it really is bad leadership, not good leadership. Eventually, there was a balance and a compromise struck. That was known as the Concordat of Worms, and this allowed for popes to choose the religious successors in these positions, but you get a veto, just kind of like the president can veto a bill from the United States Congress that comes to his desk. The emperor could veto a selection. So the emperor doesn't get to choose themselves who's filling these positions, but if they don't like who the church has chosen, they can say, no, find somebody else. And this was kind of the best compromise they could come up with. And compromises like this weren't uncommon in the Middle Ages when kings and popes had to learn to deal with each other.